All right. Just testing if things are actually coming up live here. So give me a second. If you're watching this at a later time, you can fast forward this a little bit. All right, it looks like I'm live here. Awesome. All right. Good morning to all you guys. Thanks for joining me on this REI conversion update roundup. Unfortunately, I don't have Yuli here with me. She is the lead tech behind REI conversion websites, and we both work very closely on that alongside with our entire team here. So she's not here with me today. Hey, what's up, Mike? Thanks for joining me here. And I see you guys are sort of flowing in here, which is awesome to see. I know it's still early for some of you guys, and I want to get started here right away. And so we'll go through sort of what sort of changes we have and what we're currently working on. So let me put my screen on here. 1 second. Oop. All right. See that? And I'm just going to go through this. All right. So first of all, if you guys are inside the Facebook group and you're not able to join in live, this is always broadcasted also on our YouTube channel. So you can head over to youtube.com/REI conversion and subscribe to the channel, and you'll be notified of all the sort of new updates that we have. Not any sort of live stream that we're doing. So there's a few live streams we do on a regular. This one, we do the update roundups and for both Pebble and REI conversion, and then we'll also sometimes be live for some of our podcasts as well. So you can always find us on there. All right. So first of all, thank you to all you guys that are continuing to use REI conversion. Give us feedback. Thank you for trusting us with your land business. And it's great to see a lot of you guys sort of exploding and with your land business. So thank you once again. All right, so let's jump into our most recent updates. And by the way, if you have any questions, leave it. We will answer that at the end, or I'll answer that at the end. The first thing is our property content lock. So if you're not sure what our property content lock is that plugin that allows you to lock your property behind a opt-in form. And I'm going to actually pull up my back end here, and I want to show you what we've done here. So basically, a lot of people were saying, hey, my buyers come to my website, and then a couple of weeks later, they have to enter in their information again. It's that form that sort of blocks the property and forces them to submit their information to you so that you collect their buyer lead information. Then you can route it into Pebble. You can route it into Follow Up Boss, wherever you want to route it into, MailerLite, MailChimp. That's what the property content lock is. Now, one of the things that we've added is a custom cookie length. So this way, if somebody entered it in 14 days ago, right now, they would have to re-enter in their information again after 14 days. There's a way that we sort of we call it cookieing that user, so that we don't, so we can mark them as if we know they looked at our site already and entered it in. So that's the only way to do it. And now we're able to increase that. It used to be just default 14 days. You can now cookie them for 60 days, however long you want. A good length amount of time, I think, is a month to 2 months, no more than that. I think 60 days is great. You just don't want to miss out on them. Now, if they're on a different device, they will still have to enter in that information. That's all forms. They're not logging into your site, so there's no way of us to sort of keep record of that. So it's really this cookie length. Again, if you change this to increase it, they won't see that opt-in form or that property content lock form that forces them to submit their information to you as often. So you have now full control over that. I know that's been sort of one of those requests that a lot of people have been asking for. All right, so to the next one here. We've recently just added what we call a blurry background, or it basically blurs out the background behind that property content log. I know a lot of people are saying, well, people can like scroll through and have a look at what that looks like, your property looks like, without even entering in their information. So now we actually blur that. I'm going to actually show you how that looks like here. So you can see here on beside me, they will now they're forced to they can't see the property information. It's now blurred out in the background. And again, it's pretty straightforward. If you go here, I've got a little animation. You can actually change the blur amount, and it'll just blur out the background essentially. So again, you can see it's blurry. That is just yellow right now. You can actually do a color overlay as well. So you have that ability to also tint it, whatever color. So Yuli here selected yellow, and then you can control the opacity and then also how blurry it is. So you now have full control. I know some of you guys love to get in there and do all sorts of fancy stuff. Out of the box, I think you just turn it on. You don't need any fancy colors, just blur it a little bit. I think that'll be just enough to have not, make sure that they're entering their information. So they get on your buyers list. All right. Come back here and share another screen. Mike, I see your question there. Let me get around to that in a little bit here, okay? All right. I'm going to spotlight this. Here we go. The next one is our sales post generator now has more templates. So a lot of people were using the sales post generator, which is great. And what that is it makes it very easy for you guys to repost your property onto different platforms. So you simply come into properties. Some of you guys are using like a few versions for you use a version for Facebook and then Craigslist. You might use Craigslist as well inside of the Facebook because you got to switch up that post. Now we're offering up to an additional 3 more templates, so you can come in here and create your master templates inside of. If you go to Sale Post Generator, you're now able to create all these different templates to vary up your posting. This is really good if you're also, for Zillow, or if you're listing anywhere else. This will save you a lot of time as it condenses all the information. And at the end of the day, you want to drive everyone back to your website so you can capture that lead with the property content lock. So if you're not sure how to set up Sale Post Generator, it's super easy. And just a reminder, I know a lot of people forget about this, but on Knowledge Base, it really walks you through everything. We've got videos in here, arrows with images showing you everything. If you're not sure of where to find something, shoot us an email, hello@reiconversion.com. We can walk you through as to finding that article. So yeah, Sales Post Generator, you have now more templates. There's been a huge update with WordPress 5.5.1, so our sites have been tested against 5.5.1. What does this mean for you guys? Really, it's security. There's some new technology being introduced. That's the beauty about WordPress as it continues to evolve. There's a lot of cool stuff they're doing inside of WordPress. A lot of it we're actually trying to utilize, and you might not even notice. But yes, we are tested against 5.5.1. Another huge one, image carousel. A lot of people are wanting to force their properties into a specific height. Their specific, not properties, their property images into a specific height without it sort of, you can do height contained, but that would sort of move the text up and down. So now you have the ability, and this again might fly above a lot of you guys who haven't gotten into here to doing that, but if you go to layout and properties, if you go to contained height, you can actually now, it basically contains this height. So the height will be fixed and the width will adjust accordingly to this height. And now you can actually set that height so that it doesn't sort of shift up and down. So you do have that option now. I think a lot of you guys will like this very much. You can increase this, decrease this, however much you'd like. And that whole image will actually fit in there and it'll be a consistent height. It won't sort of shift that text up and down, but you still have this chance of showing the images as big as you like. And that's sort of up to you as to how you'd like to do that. But now we're giving you that full control over the carousel image height. Okay, and the last one here is Pebble listing integration. So we are now directly integrating with Pebble. We showed this yesterday inside of Pebble. inside our update roundup for Pebble, you're now able to go into settings and integrate directly with REI land list. That makes pushing your properties a lot easier. There's no Zapier integration or anything like that. It's a direct webhook. So we're able to push majority of your property information, not everything. You'll be coming into Pebble. You'll be sort of selecting which fields you'll get to push through. One of the huge pluses is you can push through images as well. It'll save you a lot of time. Most of it can get pushed through. Now, you still need to come in and fine tune a couple little things. WordPress doesn't allow for sort of full on publishing. I mean, it's possible with most of it, but we've got a lot of custom stuff inside of our properties as well. So, things like, just going to things like, having, reordering your properties, or there's sort of a categorizing. So if we go to look at all properties, all this actually, this sorting function actually comes from a different part of that property when you're listing your property, and that cannot be fine-tuned inside of Pebble. So there are certain things that can be, but it'll save you the majority of the time moving all the information that you need to, including payment information, over into your land list website. So now we've got a direct integration. We're going to be continuing to work on more and more direct integrations with Pebble to different apps and softwares out there. So that is really exciting on our end. Okay, I'm going to actually take on some questions right now. Question on from Mike here. Let me see if I can show half my face here at least. On the sales post generator, I do not see any shortcode for the property information section, which houses APN, address, legal descriptions. I have manually entered this information each time moving forward without knowing what the shortcode is. So not everything can be brought through the the sales post generator. There are certain things that we don't bother because we know what performs better is driving. You don't want to list. The thing is, you don't want to list everything on that post until you drive them back into your website. You want to have some information for them to come in and actually have a look at that property. So we never looked at APN as sort of one of those things that is important for marketing on other platforms. That information, that sort of technical information, is going to be sort of brought back through onto your website. Now, what else? Legal description, address. Yeah. So those type of things we don't. It's mostly marketing information that we've only had on there. Now, that is something we can consider placing on, but it's never been sort of on our map here. At the end of the day, your sales post generator is meant for more of a marketing tool to drive back to your website. That's the whole intention behind it. If you want to, for now, you're going to have to enter that in separately. You can put it as my suggestion here. Sorry, my screen sort of navigating all over the thing here. My suggestion is, if you really want it, you could put it in the description, into the excerpt. At the end of the day, that to us is not really sort of marketing information. Again, it's something if we hear a lot about, it's something that we could consider, but the strategy behind here is to bring it back to your website, capture that lead. Technical information like APN, legal description is just going to lengthen your post and really sort of work against you. You want to keep your post as clean and short as possible. If you haven't heard of my podcast episode number, suggest you to have a listen to this. Now, episode number 11 with Justin Melquest here. He's sort of known as the Facebook guy. I would make sure to, again, he sort of talks about the typical sort of a high performing ad template. You'll want to check this out, and it's more or less less information, more reason for them to click in to go to your website is sort of the whole goal there. Other than that, I also see payment options as a single short code. I want to bring my price note, which is not included at this time. I see payment options as a single short code. I want to bring my price note, which is not. Yeah. So right now, just the payment options is there. Again, we want to keep that post as short as possible to drive them back to the website to capture their information, right? So that's the whole reasoning behind we're only sort of including a few short codes there for you guys. Now, obviously, if it's something that you guys are voicing out consistently about, this is where we'll obviously make that change. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. There's not many more questions. I know it's still early, and probably you guys will ask questions later. So what else are we working on? We are working on the REI land list new skin. Now, we mentioned this before. We actually came through a huge delay with the update with a bunch of different things, especially on the WordPress side of things. So we had to do a lot of testing and a lot of bug fixing over the last few weeks. And so that sort of pushed the timeline with the land list skin. We're introducing a brand new skin. I'm really excited about it. We're also introducing blogs. I'm not the biggest fan about it. Sorry, so it's weird that they opt in and opt. No, makes sense. I'm not. Oh, is there a way? Okay, hold on, Logan. Let me answer your question in a second here. So, the blog styling, we're also introducing that as well. I'm not a huge fan, but I know some of you guys are doing content marketing, which is great. I think if you're full into that, go for it and use the blog. If you're not going to consistently use a blog, I wouldn't really suggest to put your time in that. We're going to be introducing a completely in-dashboard redesign. So when you go to your dashboard, WP, your website.com/WP-admin, you will now have a completely new redesigned in-dashboard, which will have more information for you guys to kind of a lot of it we'll be surfacing a lot of our content on there. So a lot of these strategy calls and whatnot will be on there as well. It'll just be sort of a nice redesign where you'll be able to find things a lot better. Then on October 8th, we have an upcoming strategy session. I will sort of be posting that inside the Facebook group. So that will be happening on October 8th. Yesterday, I mentioned if you're part of Pebble or want to hear a little bit more about Pebble, we do have our mastermind session on October 1st. So if you're interested, you can sign up for a free account with Pebble, and you'll be able to join in on our mastermind as we talk about strategies on automating and setting up systems through Pebble, and then that's on the 1st, and then a week later we're going to be doing the REI conversion strategy session. So that's what we have coming up. Logan, is there a way to remove the pop-up opt-in form from a specific page? I'm using my site for a giveaway program. Yeah, so it should be only assigned to properties. As long as you set it to properties only rather than site-wide, yeah, it'll only show up for the properties. Yes, I totally agree. Having opt-in and an opt-in might be weird. So I hope that makes sense to you, Logan. Thanks for joining in. Okay, guys. So that's it for this sort of update roundup. We've got a lot of stuff happening that we're working on. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to leave it in this post. I will be adding this to our YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. It feels like so weird to sort of subscribe to the YouTube channel and like it. You don't need to do that. You can sort of subscribe and or you can sort of join in here inside of our Facebook group. So I hope to be seeing some of you guys on October 8th. Looking forward to seeing you guys sort of talk strategy and then sort of opening up the floor to answer questions. And then October 1st, if you guys are interested in learning more about Pebble, you can start a free account. You can honestly take advantage of our pricing for mailing and do it. Use your free 14 days to just send out mailers at our negotiated rates. And then on October 1st, we'll be doing a mastermind in there. We'll be bringing in a guest, hopefully, and then we'll answer questions and sort of talk about strategies on that call. So thanks again for joining me this morning, guys, for this month's REI Conversion September 2020 update roundup. Cheers, guys. And I'm still figuring out how to end this. All right. See